Hello. Merry Christmas, everybody. Sorry, I'm cleaning my glasses. I get underneath the ring light and then I realize how smudgy my glasses are. I'm also crooked. iPhones are weird to work with. Let's see. Also, my glasses are really scratched. Need a new pair. So, good morning. Good morning. How is everyone? Everyone ready for Christmas? Good morning, Marcy. Getting my second device ready. Okay. You guys, I got the good morning, Alice. I got the cutest Christmas card from Danielle. Look at that. There's a little slot. Isn't that fantastic? This design was originally produced in 1938. This one was reprinted in the 90s. Isn't that fantastic? I love it. Love, 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 love it. So I had to bring it and show it to you guys. Oh, Diane, not ready. I was just on Instagram before I went live, and the amount of resellers on there whose whole family is down with different illnesses is just awful. When I worked retail, when you're in retail management, you do not get any time off from Black Friday through December 24th. And so I would work and work and work and work and work while also, because I was a single mom, my ex-husband didn't even live in the same city for half the kids' lives. And then he moved out of the state. So it was on me to be to every Christmas concert. It was on me to get things ready for the Christmas parties. The kids had to take to school with them. Like, it was a lot. And so as soon as I was done working on Christmas Eve, I would get so sick. So sick. Some years it was the flu. Some years it was a sinus infection. I was just so sick. And then I would spend all of Christmas Day after getting up with the kids and making breakfast and watching them open their stockings. I would just spend it sick in bed because I had to go right back to work and then do after Christmas clearance and then inventory and ugh. I am relieved to not be working traditional retail. I mean, obviously, I'm still working retail, but it's completely on my own terms. Coffee cup of the day now that I put lipstick on it. I don't know if you can see the trees that are etched in here, but there are two trees. There's a smaller one down here. This is actually a Starbucks cup. Oh, three trees. There's two smaller ones down here. And I love this. I have this exact same, cup in plain with no etched trees on it, but for year out. But this, I get out at Christmas every year. So coffee cup of the day is a Starbucks Christmas mug. And my flavor today was peppermint mocha. It is crazy because I swear they put all of the good flavors in the last half of this coffee advent calendar. Because this whole last week has been banging good coffee. Very good coffee. All right, how many people? We have 12 people in here. And if I missed you coming in and didn't say hello, hello. And if you're just hanging out quietly behind the scenes, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. So originally, we talked about I was going to be on next week. I have decided to take a break next week. And I'm going to turn my phone off and put it in a drawer. And I'm not going to be on any devices at all. I am going to, hey, Mary, I am just going to rest. intentionally rest. Because I have chronic illness, a lot of times I'm just doing forced rest, where I'm angry because my body won't do what I need it to do and I can't do the things that I have to do. And so it's not truly restful. This is resting with intention. I'm not going to take my Christmas ornaments down until January 1st or 2nd. I'm going to do the basics like showering. I'm going to empty the cat's litter box and feed them. But as far as anything else, I'm going to intentionally rest. I will put together a puzzle if I feel like it. I will do a Sudoku. I actually have a book. It's not just on my phone. I am going to watch movies on DVD if I feel like it, because that's something I don't often do. I'm usually just like flipping through things on the TV, which is not restful either. I'm going to do some journaling. Maybe finally try my watercolor. I bought the watercolor book. My uncle gave me the watercolor paints. I haven't been able to water. So intentional rest is what I'll be doing next week. So today I will draw our last 2 altered book prompts. And I won't see you guys next week. I am hoping to get a video up this week because, okay, so big news. Okay, 16 of you here now. Big news. The house did sell. They close on it on Friday. Now, my parents have 60 days to get out of here. Mom and I have both already, good morning, Catherine. Happy holidays. So Mom and I have already been going through stuff and getting rid of things. Dad had started going through his books and getting rid of those. So we had started that. Oh, I have coloring books, Alice. I forgot about that. I have like 5 or 6 gorgeous coloring books that I hardly ever, the adult ones. One is a mandala one. I have to do that too. I add that to my list of relaxing things to do. So we'd already started getting rid of things and, started seeing what we could pass on to family members, what we need to put up for sale, like furniture wise, that kind of stuff. So Mom and I'd already started that, but it is official. My niece and her husband did get approved for the loan. Good morning, Kathy. They're closing on the house on Friday. So 60 days to find another place. Mom and Dad are want to do some kind of senior living where they're, ideally they would be on one floor. So they're looking at all their options. Unfortunately, right now it's not a good time to be buying a house. And the condos with the HOA fees are just absurd, but they need a tiny property. Instead of this massive property, they need a smaller house. This is a 5-bedroom. It's just huge. So in order for this next phase of their life, they need to downsize. Unfortunately, that leaves me homeless. That's just the reality of it. I don't make enough money doing this to pay my bills, let alone move out on my own and get my own place again. I am not eligible currently for any kind of assisted living situations because I don't actually work enough. And you have to be working, you have to be gainfully employed to get onto waiting lists for that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do right now, which is very scary, but we are not going to be upset about it. We are just going to be happy that Mom and Dad are going to be able to downsize and take off a lot of the load of just owning a very large property. And I'm too sick to work more. I just am. That's just a reality. So I pull it together for this 1 hour a week. And then it takes me 3 days to do shipping because of pain and exhaustion and weakness or brain fog and fatigue. And so it's the reality. It just is. We're not going to dwell on it because this is Christmas week and we're going to have a good week and we're going to be happy about the things that we can be happy about, which is that the house is going to stay in the family and she wants to host future holidays here. That's fantastic. Mom and Dad still have 60 days to find another place. So that's fantastic. So that's what we're going to focus on. So all of that being said, I don't know what the next year is going to bring as far as this channel. I may not be in a place where I can even film or, have access to, good morning, Roxana, have access to ways to charge my phone or, so gonna take next week off. We'll still be here in January because there is a 60-day. If they find a place sooner, they'd move out in 30 days. But there's, so you'll hear from me in January, but I don't know where the channel's going to go this new year. And, if you've been in the community a while, you have seen a lot of resellers go through this. I know of 2 specifically who had to give up their homes and move in with friends. And we're continuing to be able to sell out of a room. So, that's a possibility. And no, Kathy, they have really big plans for this house and a whole lot of construction they're going to do. And so, no, they told my parents that even if they don't find something in 60 days, that they could still continue to stay and just then start paying them rent. But they've already got like contractors lined up to come in and look at the things they want to change. And so, mom and dad don't even want to overstay their welcome. They have lots of plans for the house. So, yeah. So it'll be wonderful when it's done. It won't look anything like it looks like right now. This house was built, I think, in 1974, because the apartment building was built by the same builder in 1976 at the end of the street, the apartment I used to live in. And actually, they used a lot of the same materials in both places. Like both of the bathrooms had the hideous vinyl floors that it was the same pattern. The woodwork in the houses is the same, and it's not actually like good woodwork is whatever they were using in the 70s. So mom and dad have done some updating, like they've replaced some of the flooring, but like the living room still carpet. When they moved in here, the room still had shag carpet. So they've recarpeted the whole house a couple different times, but they had been replacing everything with laminate. And the rooms that have the laminate in them look so much nicer than the carpeted rooms. So probably, I'm guessing that my niece will go ahead and do it. But she wants to make it an open concept upstairs, which involves taking down a whole entire wall and putting in a beam. And like she has big plans, which is wonderful. Wonderful. But yeah, we cannot be underfoot while she's tearing apart the whole house and making it her own. And unfortunately, I'm 50 and I have a chronic illness. Chronic means chronic. You don't ever, I'll have times when I'm better than I was, but I'm never going to be healthy again. And people don't want to take that on. That's just a fact. No matter how much your family loves you, that, really, it's easy to think about it and, oh, I love my family. But realistic, are you going to let a middle-aged family member move in there who cannot support themselves right now, who cannot contribute to your household and is going to cost you money and food and electricity and water? And because, when one person moves in, like your utility bills double. I don't know how that happens, but it does. So yeah, Meg and I have been looking at possibilities. I can't go stay with her and her boyfriend because they have they rent the upstairs of his grandpa's house, but it's a Cape Cod. So, it's perfect for the 2 of them. They are little people. And so I love their apartment. It's lovely. I'm going to go spend the night with them Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but it's not like I could go live with them. Like it's just the top half of a Cape Cod house. If you've been in those, you know all of the walls are going to go like this, and everything is all connected and open to everything. So anyway, that's what's going on, but we are not going to be negative. We are just moving forward. But I wanted to let you guys know what was going on. And probably the sales I do in January will be items from my personal collection that I just, hey Bree, that I just I think what I'm going to be doing is keeping the things I love, like my Swan collection. And my brother has offered to help me out with storing my stuff so I don't lose everything. So we'll see. Oh, Marcy. I'm not sure how I would get down to Texas. You're in Texas, right? That's a lovely offer. So we will see where it goes. I'm going to take next week off and just completely relax and not think about it, because in January, that is going to be a big push to pack, get rid of things, downsize, and figure out life. That is where we are going. With that said, we are going to pull the last two altered book prompts, last two of the year. Paint a layout. Ooh, paint a layout across 2 pages. Paint a layout across 2 pages. Marcy, my sister, used to live in McAllen, Texas, and I flew down to spend her 40th birthday with her. She was living all the way down there, no other family around, so I flew down and took the rain from Ohio with me. They had not had that much rain down in McAllen, Texas in forever. I brought the rain down from Ohio with me. And last, use a photo or photos on a page. Use a photo or photos on a page. So those are our last 2. We did it, you guys. We did a whole year of prompts. Yay. So honestly, we will not be starting back up the Altered Book Project in January. Once I have settled, if I'm in a place where I can do that again, then we'll just start from whatever that point is. But we are not going to start another one in January right now. I can't be in the middle of packing and downsizing and figuring out where I'm going to live and still be doing that right now. So not gonna be able to do that right now. If you are just coming in, I have to show you this Christmas card I got from Danielle. You may know her from the chat. Look, isn't that fantastic? This design was original to 1938, and then in the 90s, it was redone by Gibson Greetings. I just love it. So I had to show you guys that. Love, love, love it. Seems like there was something else I was going to tell you too. I don't remember what. Everything I have for sale today is not breakable. I challenged myself to pull items that are not glass. We all know I'm a glass girl. Hey, Eileen. Oh, you guys have to see my brooch. I hadn't worn this one yet. It is a little bit heavy, but it's so stinking pretty. And this is the most random Christmas shirt because it's got pink flamingos on it, pineapples, candy canes, palm trees, penguins. What do penguins have to do with pink flamingos? But I love it. I absolutely love this Christmas shirt. So warm and cozy, so much fun, so soft. And I think I got this one at like Gabe's, but you know, some of these, once you wash the fleece, it gets all, nope, this one has stayed so soft. So I wanted to, because my first items are going to be some vintage gloves. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about the history of gloves. And if you follow Catherine, then you know that she wears gloves quite often. And I do have gloves that were my mom's so I can actually wear gloves with a 1950s purse and a 1950s hat. I do have some gloves. I have to show you guys these. So these would have been, trying to remember what year my mom was homecoming queen. Late 60s? I can't remember what year she graduated. She was born in the 50s, grew up, and so she was homecoming queen. Good morning, Kaz. These were her homecoming queen gloves with the 3 little buttons there. And back then, when you were homecoming queen, there were a whole bunch of responsibilities you had and various things you had to show up in. So she was in a parade after she was crowned, and then at the games she actually had to have multiple formal dresses for this. I can still get these on my hand. I cannot get them up my arm. Because I was a massage therapist, I have these huge muscly forearms that I didn't have before I went to massage school. I used to have these stick skinny arms, but I can't get them up my arm. But I love, love, love these. And my mom and I had the same hand size until I went to massage school. I had no idea until I went to massage school that your fingers have muscles that will get bigger as you massage. So I have quite large hands now. Like my ring finger when I got married was a 7, and now it's like a 9. Anyway, so I can fit these on my hand. I just can't fit them up my arm. But I have a pair of my grandmother's, and my grandma had tiny hands. She was a tiny little thing, and she only got tinier as she got older. But these are leather. And look how thin this leather is. It's so thin and so soft. And I do think probably the only person in the family that might be able to fit these is my daughter, because she's also a tiny little thing. But she didn't think she'd be able to fit them. I might take them with me to her house for Christmas and just see if she can wear them. But aren't those amazing? These tiny little, I love the design on them. Tiny little leather gloves that were my grandmother's. So I am going to have some gloves for sale today. Also, I have some brooches that are silver colored, silver toned, going into January. I like to wear silver in January. I always feel icy and cool. And so blue and silvers and whites. And then I have some handmade lace kind of things, bits and pieces. So, and then at the end, some coasters and some pewter kind of things. That's what we've got for sale today. But I was reading the history on gloves, so I wanted to give you guys some facts. So we know that gloves were huge in the Victorian days. You absolutely could not leave the house wearing your gloves. And if you're seeing a period movie where they're pulling on their gloves as they walk out the door, they would not have done that. Your bonnet had to be tied and your gloves had to be on your hands before you exited the house. Or it was improper. Improper. You did not leave the house not completely covered. So in the 1900s and 1910s, the Victorian ideals had started to disappear during the Edwardian era, but gloves were still a popular fashion accessory. So proper women often wore gloves to social events, especially women in the middle and upper class. During the day, they would wear leather or suede that extended past their forearms. These gloves would typically feature a row of dainty buttons. And gloves during this time were also expected to be properly tailored. So you would not, if your gloves looked ill-fitting, then you were poor. You were a lower class of society. And gloves could be white, ivory, gray, another light neutral shade, but also various pastel tones like light green or lavender. World War I made it difficult to purchase gloves, and so there was a changing attitude in society, and gloves declined slightly. So they were no longer an expected article of clothing. But during the Roaring '20s, women would wear dainty gloves, and these gloves would be made from a sheer lace or a light cotton and would be worn during special daytime occasions like traveling garden parties and weddings. And they would be decorated with lavish designs, embroidery or geometric embellishments to match the clothing that was popular during the time. As the decade wore on, so closer to the end of the '20s, the gauntlet glove became popular. And this was a type of glove that had a large cuff that folded over at the wrist. I've never actually seen any of these in real life. So if you do find that one, you can date that style of glove. 1930s, they became less popular because of changing trends, but they were still expected during very formal occasions. The gauntlet style glove became a bit more feminine during this time, and the bold cuffs began to feature softer scalloped edges and intricate embroidered accents. Because gloves were less popular, women would only own a few pair, so they were almost exclusively ivory brown or black, so they complemented a wide variety of outfits. And then in the 1940s, World War II made gloves a luxury item most women could not justify owning. And we know during wartime, women became more active members of society and didn't concern themselves with impractical accessories because they were working. Then in the 1950s, as World War II ended, clothing became more fashionable and ladylike again. And it was commonplace to see women wearing wrist or forearm length gloves in public during the day. And Jackie Kennedy, who is the classic glove and hat, women like to follow fashion. They like to follow women that look like that. She was an amazing fashion style icon. So definitely made the pillboxes popular, pillbox hat popular, gloves popular again. Gloves went out of style during the 1960s because of the mod trend. If people were wearing gloves, they were super bright and colorful. And now you only see gloves being worn by weirdos like us in the vintage community who still love our old styles, or just utilitarian work gloves, winter gloves. I don't even think I've seen any homecoming or prom queen type gloves at all. So, brief history of gloves. Super fun. Oh, let me get my chat back up here since I was reading about gloves. Okay. So, all that being said, I've got some gloves for sale. First up is this lot of colored gloves, 2 pair of blue, and these were my mom's, and I don't wear blue. So even though they would fit me, I do not wear blue. So these are a little bit longer on the wrist. These are a short glove. And these gloves are in good used shape. So no major holes or stains on this set of 4. The next ones I'll show you where there are stains. So this is kind of like a grayish color, a gray beige. This ruffle is so stinking cute. And then the last pair is yellow. And these were short. They would just come right over here. Hi, Donna. So you're going to get all 4. And I don't know anything about glove sizes, but if your hands are tiny, these are going to be too big on you. My mom, her ring finger is a size 7, and these were her gloves. So if that helps you out, size 7 ring finger, these gloves fit her. $8, number 23. Oh, and the other thing is I will be invoicing today. So that way I can get everything shipped out Friday and then just enjoy the holiday weekend and then be taking my break of relaxation for all of next week. So I will not be on next week if you're just coming in. Oh, $8, number 23 on the set of 4. Now this set I had picked up at different thrifting times. So I'm only keeping my favorites, and I think every pair I kept was actually my mom's. So none of these had any like family significance. So there are a couple pair in here that are pretty bad. The shapes are completely, or the sizes are completely all over the place. There's one tiny pair in here. There's some medium ones. There might even be one large pair. I'm going to show you all of them. Oh yeah, my sister did have to wear gloves for marching band. She graduated in 93. I just remembered that. I always prefer for my winter gloves to wear like driving gloves so that they're very tight to my hand and I have full mobility. I cannot wear mittens. I guess if I was going to go out and play in the snow and have a snowball fight, I'd want mittens, but I can't wear mittens. Okay, so first pair is this pair. And I'm not seeing a bunch of staining, but I do think they were used often and washed a lot. So that's the first pair. The second pair is the most used out of all of these in this lot, I believe. And this is so cute, this ruffle right here. It is going to be one price for all of these. So second pair, but these are the most worn. Third pair, and actually you can see that I paid $4 for this pair. I never even, these did not fit me. They are so stinking pretty, but they were too small. So third pair, this pair has never been worn, but I do think they're tiny. They feel so soft. They've got this little bow here, and they are still sewn together. You would get them like this and you would clip that little. I remember when I was a girl. Hey, Helen, when I was a girl in the 80s, we still had a department store that was downtown. Hey, Kathy. And so you would go in there and it was your old traditional department store where you go in and the first floor is like the little glass counters and they would have gloves. They would have the lace caps and then the lace, not veils because they only cover the back, but for the religious, when women cover their hair, they had those. They still had, and this was the 80s, but they still had, like, I don't know, any of that kind of female accessory kind of stuff. It was just the coolest store to go into. But anyway, these have never been worn, never used, but they're small. This pair, it's just your basic ones. These feel satiny. I'm not seeing any stains on that pair. Oh, but there's a pull right here. Right. You can't really see it. There's a pull right there. Yeah, as a girl, I remember wearing gloves. I don't know about hats, but gloves. And then I had a little fancy white straw purse that I got to wear. Okay, so we are on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there are 7 pairs of gloves in this lot altogether. So this one is so pretty. And did these, I think, these just fit. My fingers are a little too long for this pair. How stinking pretty are those? Now there is some staining on this pair, but they're not as worn. They weren't as washed as many times as a couple of the other pairs. Okay, and then last pair. This pair. I wonder if this is what they're talking about with the, would you be able to cuff this sleeve? Oh, you could. These are too small for me. And the difference in material in these is really interesting too. So you get 7 pair for just $10. $10. Number 7 for all 7 pair. And I'm going to throw a Christmas trivia question at you guys. In Silver Bells, what are dressed in holiday style? In the song Silver Bells, what are dressed in holiday style? Next up, my aunt made these. Kathy. So it is a lace collar. She didn't get the buttons onto these. So this would, my grandma loved to wear these. Close. My grandma loved to wear these because she had a heart condition and needed soft, comfy clothes, because when you're chronically ill, you know you need soft, comfy clothes, but she never felt quite dressed if she's just wearing a t-shirt. So she would wear these collars. So here's the collar, and then here is the cuff. Now it's got pins in it where my aunt was planned to put on buttons, and she didn't. But how stinking cute would this look on a jean jacket? Yes, Marcy got it. Sidewalks. So these are handmade, cuff and collar. And the set is $5, number 19. $5, number 19. I just think it would look so pretty on a jean jacket. I have a second one that is much wider, and she did get the buttons onto this one. Look at that. How stinking pretty is that? This is not my style, but I so appreciate how pretty it is. And cuffs to match this one too. So pretty. So this one also only $5. $5, number 8. For the bigger one, you get a lot more lace on this one. So pretty. And next I have some collars that she made that don't have cuffs. So these are just plain collars. It is a set of 3. Now, if she had made cuffs to go with one of the black ones, I probably would have kept it and actually put it on my jean jacket, because that's black is more my style. But here is the first one. Here is the second one. How pretty is that? Here's the little button. It's a little flower. I can't crochet or knit or anything. And the amount of work that goes into these just amazes me. And my aunt would just sit down and pop them out. There's a lady at Mom's church right now who just makes these intricate crocheted blankets like they're nothing. Just boop, boop, boop. And then there's this amazing blanket that she's gifting to someone at church. It would take me years, and so many tears and tearing things out. Okay, so this one's the most delicate. That's the last one. So, yes. Yep. RBG. And when she would wear those collars, it did make me think of my grandma always dressing up her t-shirts or sweatshirts and comfy clothes with these collars. Okay, so the entire set, they're just $2 a piece. $6, number 12, and you're going to get all three. 2 black, 1 green. And I know I've had some of these up for sale before. I wish I could just find the right person who would appreciate them, because I'm sure there's someone out there who would just love them. And I do have some doilies that my aunts handmade, my grandmother, great-grandmother, great aunts. So I have kept some of that family stuff. So has Mom, but there was a large multitude of stuff that got passed down to my mom, being the only daughter or the only child of my grandparents. So, oh, I couldn't even do that step, Kathy. Diane. Awesome. Diane's taking number 19, number 8. Okay, so all of the collars are going to go to Diane. Oh, Diane, I'm so happy you want those. Okay, let's have another Christmas trivia question. Let's see. What town in Georgia has streets named Candy Cane Road, December Drive, Rudolph Way, Dancer Street, Prancer Street, and Sleigh Street? It's a town in Georgia. All right, I have one more lot of the collars. And this one, I don't know if my aunt didn't finish it or if it has started to come apart. So I'm going to show you this one first. So I'm not sure what happened there. But right here, got something going on. And I'm not going to mess with it. And then this set, you're going to get 4 for $5, I think. Let me check. Yes, 4 for $5. And I did sit down with my mom and we went through these, and she decided on the prices. Here's this one. Just a very basic. And that's the whitest one because these are more of an ecru color. So that one, and this one looks, is this the exact same one? And that one. Huh. Those look very identical. Yeah, I think they are. So there's 4 in this lot, and they are $5. So helps if I use the right thing. $5. $5, number 1. This one's kind of a freebie since I'm not sure what's going on with it or why there is this string. Oh, Kathy, wait, I have pillowcase ends today that were made by multiple family members. Diane's going to take those as well. Thank you, Diane. You know, I usually send things like this in a padded envelope. And the other day I was sending out something that sold last week, and I measured it in both padded envelope, weighed it, and then weighed it in a box. It was the tablecloth. It was cheaper to send it in a box. Also, media mail's not cheaper any longer. So I always check. I just like to keep up on it, so I'm getting you guys the best price. But that was crazy to me. Crazy. Okay, so did anybody get the town in Georgia has streets named Candy Cane Road, December Drive, Rudolph Way, Dancer Street, Prancer Street, and Sleigh Street? It's the town Santa Claus in Georgia. I did not know that there was a town named Santa Claus in Georgia, but apparently there is. Okay, next up, these are dress pieces. Hello, Marketplace Boutique. So my mom said that when you handmade your dress and then you would, make lace or a piece to go on it, when the dress wore out, you would take those pieces back off and use them on a new dress or your daughter's dress or something. So these are that kind of thing. So these are dress pieces. Here is the first one. And I think this would have been a collar. Hi, Chris. Or a collar. I don't know. But that's the first one. This one's just gorgeous. And my mom sews. So over the years, she did use some of the pieces. Now this one has a little damage right here. But some of these could be as old as 1930s, 1940s. They've just been handed down from family member to family. My grandma wasn't much of a sewer, but my mom definitely was. My grandma did like to knit or crochet. I don't remember which. But also, my grandma was chronically ill and had a heart condition. Kept her in and out of the hospital for years. This tiny little piece. Now this piece actually has buttons, so this would have been a collar. A modesty collar. I think these are just such cool pieces of history. These would have been cuffs. This is another one. How stinking pretty would that look added to your jean jacket? Again, if it was black, I just sewn them right onto my jean jacket. I know the basics of sewing because, of course, my mom taught us the basics, but I never really enjoyed it. Another collar piece. My mom loves to sew, but she's a perfectionist, so there's a lot of ripping it out and redoing it. Okay, and then the last piece, this one was a collar from the 90s. Do you remember when that was popular? I saw a TikTok where somebody is trying to make these come back, and I'm like, no, let's not. But this was a collar. There's a rose on it from the 90s. This was my grandmother's, but this was not hand done. You could actually buy these in the 90s and put them over your things to make them look fancier. The whole lot is only going to be $5. Marcy, I thrifted 2 in the last 2 years. I love them. I have a bunch of brooches on the one that I wear most often. You do steampunk costuming? That's the only cosplay I've ever done. All right, Picasso Cat's gonna take those. Thanks, Kathy. I did the whole, oh, brain fog. Having problems with words today. The corset. I did the corset and the lace overlay on the skirt and the shoes, the hat. I have 2 different steampunk hats. One I made, one I bought. I love steampunk. So much fun. Okay. Then I've got flower pieces. These are not handmade. And my mom actually used some of these to make a pillow for my grandma that now one of her granddaughters has. And they are not all the same. So there are these. And then this set. But, oh, got a little one stuck there. So these little ones, these bigger ones, and then these. So if you need to know how many pieces are here, I can count them for you. But it's just a tiny lot of these little pieces. $5, number 13. $5, number 13 on those little flower pieces. Move some things around. And it's not all going to be this kind of stuff today. Just got a few more things. And then I've got some brooches and pewter pieces and things like that. Okay, let's do another Christmas trivia question. Thanks you guys for hanging out with me. It's my last show of the year. My last show. Okay. In the 12 Days of Christmas song, what did my true love send to me on the 12th day? The 12th day. Marcy, I'm reading your comment, and I do think that one of the jean jackets I thrifted is a man's jacket and not a woman's jacket, because I have broad shoulders too. And I looked and looked and looked. I mean, I started looking before my daughter even graduated high school. So 2018, 2019, we were always thrifting and looking for a jean jacket for me. But I didn't find one until sometime in the last couple of years I found one. Okay, so it came up. The pillowcase edges. I'm going to show you. It's a whole bag of pillowcase edges, you guys. And these would have been made by my grandmother, great-grandmother, great-aunt. And then picked back off when the pillowcase became icky. I love men's jackets. Of course, I loved men's jackets even when I was in high school. I had this one guy friend, and we weren't even dating. Like, we never dated. I wore his varsity, because, you know, it's the thing to wear their varsity jacket. I wore his varsity jacket pretty much every day of the winter, my junior year. So lots and lots of pillowcase edging here. I like the ones that are colored, of course. So that one's pink and white. This one's pink and yellow. This one's yellow and lavender. Yes, 12 drummers drumming. I see Marcy with it first. This one, poor piece, is worse for the wear, but it's in there. There are 2 of the yellow and lavender. So potentially you could put those back on pillowcases. So more white and pink, more. Oh, there's 2 of those. No, it looks like a slightly different color. So it is a whole bag. Like this one never even got picked off the pillowcase. Wow. That is pretty. But most of these are single. They are not matching. I showed you the one matching set that's in here. But the whole bag is just going to be... Oh, now somehow I mixed those up. Okay, well, we're going to call it $5, number 50. Number 50. Oh, Donna, I love that. Okay, we did that. We did that. So number 50 on all of the pillow lace pieces. Oh, Marcy's going to take those. Awesome. And if you're just coming in, I will be invoicing today. So hopefully by tonight, I'll have everybody invoiced. That way, everybody, if everybody pays immediately, I'll run it up to the post office tomorrow. But otherwise, I will get it shipped out Friday and then be able to enjoy Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So excited to be going to my daughter's. Okay, what message was printed on the first mass-produced Christmas card? The first mass-produced Christmas card. Oh, I know why I got that wrong. Hadn't turned the page. Okay. Marcy's getting a good deal on those. Next up is this very pretty lace doily. And I thrifted this one. And, you know, it would have gone perfectly in my bedroom, except as we've discovered, the cats will not stay off of these. And then they're just constantly covered in hair. So this one's in really good condition. I don't see any condition issues. I don't see any loose anything. I don't know if it was handmade or mass produced. To me, it looks handmade, but you know, I'll make these. Aw, thanks, Rebecca. And it's a nice size. So could be used like on a bedside table. Could just be used under a plant. Just to look pretty. Or under your stereo. Anyway, super pretty on that one. It is $5, number 25. $5, number 25. Pink and white doily. This is another one I thrifted because I was thinking about it for my kitchen, but my kitchen does not have all of these colors in it. There is no lavender at all. Okay, Marcy was right on that one. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you was the very first mass-produced Christmas card. Okay, here's one probably everybody will get. In what movie does Buddy exclaim, "Santa! I know him"? I shortened it. He says more, but you should know that one. Okay, and what's crazy is for the longest time I had not watched that movie. I'm like, that movie looks stupid. And then I watched it, and now it's one of my favorites, and we watched it every year. Yep, there we go. Diane was first with Elf, but everybody knew that was Elf. Okay. It's a hot pad. So it's thicker. I'm not sure what they put in it to give you the thickness, but look how stinking pretty the colors are, you guys. But I have zero purple in my kitchen and only the tiniest bit of yellow. I have pink, green, and not even that color of blue. Oh, Marcy. I know. At one point, my kids are like, "Mom, why don't you get rid of your CD collection?" I'm like, "Because I never got rid of my tape collection." I still have cassette tapes. I still have mixtapes from my boyfriend when I was 17. Okay, so little hot pad, and it is just $5, number 21. $5, number 21 for the little hot pad in the pretty colors. Okay, that was all of my cloth lace material type items. Ew, coffee grounds in there. That was my one complaint. Yeah, I still haven't seen A Christmas Story, Rebecca. Have not seen It's a Wonderful Life. Have not seen Miracle on 34th Street. My CD player in my car won't work. It won't play the CD, and then the CD gets stuck in there. But if it worked, I would be jamming in my car to CNC Music Factory. Anyway, that is my one complaint about my coffee advent calendar, is that those coffee pods, for some reason, every now and then, one of them leaks a bunch of coffee grounds. Oh, I love that, Alice. All right, we have, first brooch up is a Trifari brooch. Trifari brooch. So I picked out some silver tone brooches since we're going into January. And you can see this is the heaviest, thickest brooch out of all of these because it is Trifari. We all know it's a good brand. So there's the Trifari right there. All of these do work. And it is $8, number 10. $8, number 10. And if you guys missed it, if you missed the beginning, my parents' house has sold. It closes on Friday. That we all have 60 days then to find someplace else to live. And we're not going to be sad about that. We are going to figure it out. We're going to stay positive about it. But happy for my parents that they were able to sell the house without having to put it on the market and then having showings and having to deal with where the cats and dogs were going to go when we had showings. And so that's a huge relief, huge relief. But the house has sold. So I'm taking next week off to relax before I am full throttle into January with packing, sorting, getting rid of, downsizing, all of that. So that is what is going on. I won't be on next week. I pulled our last 2 altered book prompts today. I might get a static video up before the end of the week because I want to show you guys my dad's Coke collection before he has to downsize it. Unfortunately, my mom's been using that as the staging room to sort things. So she said she was going to not sort things at all this week and the room would be emptied out. And it's just the Coke collection. Yes, Brie, my niece bought it, but I cannot stay here. I'm not welcome to stay here after she moves in. No one wants a middle-aged lady living with them who is chronically ill and barely works. So that's just the reality. It's where we're at. We're going to figure it out. I'm not the first person in our vintage community to go through this. We've seen others have to go through these big life changes. We're going to make it through. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Okay, next up, I have 4 brooches. Each of these are going to be $5, and I'm just going to give you a separate letter for each of them. Number 7, let's see. The bag of white gloves for $10. Yes. I can put you down for that, Marcy. And I'm not sad that I need to downsize because really, even though I have, you guys know, if you followed me, I downsized in 2020 when we moved out of the 3-bedroom farmhouse style house we lived in into the 2-bedroom apartment. We downsized. And then when I moved out of the apartment into here, hi, Monica. The last time I talked to Daniel or heard anything from Daniel, he had COVID. So I haven't seen anything in the last couple of weeks, and I'm hoping, oh, the collar gloves. Yeah, that was number 23 for $8. Yes, those are still available. Okay, let me change that. but he had COVID, and I'm hoping he didn't have complications from COVID. And I'm hoping it's just because he's working retail now. This is the Christmas season. So hopefully he'll be fine. But, like Nikki, never heard from Nikki again. The last thing I'd heard from her was that they were having to put their house up for sale. So it's a struggle. And, like Perfecting Pearls got completely off of YouTube. And I don't know that hers was a financial thing. I do know she was selling things. It was easier on eBay. But we've seen changes. We'll see what happens. Michelle Comfy Cozy Living she sold her house thinking that she was going to be able to buy a house somewhere else. And then all of that fell through. And then she had to move in with a friend. So, life's a struggle for everyone. It's not perfect. We're all doing the best we can, but we are going to keep a positive attitude. We are going to get through it. But anyway, I'm not sad about having to downsize, because even downsizing again to move in here, I realized that my health is not, I still have too much stuff. Does that make sense? So really, as I go through, I'm going to be starting out with, do I love this item, or do I need this item? Because if I need it, whether or not I love it, we all have to have some Tupperware for our food, even though we don't love Tupperware, So definitely going to do that. And if I don't love it, it can go. If I do love it and I still have too much of it, that's going to be a problem. Like my Swan collection. We've all seen how huge it is. I love my Swan collection. Genuinely, I think I love every single one of my swans. And most of them you guys gifted me, which then adds another layer of love to those items. So I definitely don't need swans, but do I love them? Yes. Now, like my uranium collection, there truly are pieces in there I don't love. I love the whole thing when it's in that bookcase that it's in and it's lit up. I love looking at the whole thing, but do I love each individual piece? Absolutely not. So, in January, probably be looking for a uranium glass sale. And it'll be good prices because I tend to rescue the pieces that are chipped. So it's not a bad thing having to downsize. I still have coffee grounds in my mouth, you guys. Having to downsize, but it is going to be hard because I am chronically ill and I'm just in more pain in January. Rebecca, I do too. I miss Nikki. I spent more time with her doing that sale every week and then chatting throughout the week on the different platforms we would chat on. I spent more time with her than I did my sisters, who are my best friends. So I considered doing a clearance sale on some of this, but honestly, doing the dollar clearance sale like I did last year, while it cleared a bunch of stuff, was so much work that I'm not physically up to it. So what I'm doing right now is the stuff I've offered at $5 or below, I'm actually sending out pictures to my family with a hashtag of pick your own Christmas present, and then I'm going to donate it. Okay, so 4 brooches. These are $5 each. The first one, let me see. The first one is this little one. Looks like a flower with the pearl in the middle, and it has a Y back, but it's unmarked. And it's a very thin, but so pretty. So $5, and this one's going to be letter S. $5 letter S. Next one is this one. Oh, wow, Kathy, that's 4 carloads. I have a giant box in my back seat right now that I've got to get donated before I go to my daughter's this weekend, or I'm not going to have room for presents and food in the car. Okay, next up is this one with rhinestones and pearls. And again, this one has nothing on the back, so it's probably a more modern one, but super stunning on a denim jacket. And it's only $5, letter C. $5, letter C. You guys, I have not been thrifting since September. Because of my health. I just have not had the strength to drive myself to a thrift store and be able to walk around and then to come home and clean it and do the research. And it's killing me that I've not been able to thrift. I missed the end of garage sale season around here. I've missed 2 flea markets. But it's okay because we didn't need to move all of this stuff anyway. So it's okay. All right. So next one up is this one. And yeah, it's unmarked also. These were so popular in the 90s. On your collar. Silver tone. Just very fun. $5, letter X. $5, letter X on that one. And then last on the brooches is this silver tone leaf one with these loops. And again, not marked, but small Y back on this one. $5, letter O. I must like the brushed silver look because 4 of the 5 of them have that look. All right, that was all of the brooches. We are almost to the end of the sale. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today and hearing my life updates. We're supposed to be getting a new thrift store, and they've actually got the sign up for it and paper on the windows. So excited about that. Next up, some Murray pewter. This is a lot of 3, so I'm going to start with the tiniest one, which is a jug. This tiny little jug. Each of these does say USA Murray pewter on the bottom. So teeny tiny little jug. A covered wagon, and the wheels actually move. So covered wagon, and this moves too. And then a cannon, wheels move and the cannon moves. And they're small. So you're going to get all 3 pieces. All 3 are Murray pewter for $8, number 18. $8, number 18 for the pewter. Okay. Then I have another lot of 3. Oh, thanks, Eileen. And, I've considered figuring out how to sell on eBay and just putting my energy into that. But I love hanging out with you guys. I love it. And so I think that not having this social aspect would be more damaging to my mental health. Because I love this. I love talking to you guys. I love sharing things I've learned about vintage items with you guys. I love when you come back and watch things later and leave me comments. I don't know. I love this. So I don't know. As long as I've got enough energy to keep doing this, I've had to cut way back. I can't go on other people's channels as a guest anymore. You know, we had to cut out Glass with Class when I was taking a break, and then Nikki left YouTube. So I don't know. Okay, this lot of 3 is going to start out with, this guy's a bit bigger. He's made by a different brand. He's missing his fishing pole. He would have had a fishing pole. That is missing. And I can't remember. Oh, this is a different brand, and I can't remember now the brand, but his name is Wally. Aw, thanks, Eileen. And this style, if you look these up, he did a lot of these little boy and girl figurines, and they're like a very rough cut kind of pewter. They're not the polished, finished off, but this is the style that these figurines are made in. So there's this one. He's this size. And then there's, I don't know what this camel's made out of, but there's this little camel. He's some kind of metal. And here's a size comparison. And then last, I'll give you size comparison, is this little cash register, and the drawer does open. It's hard to get open. Oh, hey, Spirit Junkie. Oh, thanks, Monica. I just love hanging out with you guys. And I'm one of those people that like is a lifetime learner. I love to look up new things and research things I've never heard of. So the drawer opens. This one was made in Taiwan. So you're going to get all 3 of these pieces of a really random lot. $8, number 15. $8, number 15. And then finally, I just don't deal with returns at all. I don't do returns. I am one of those people who will literally just donate the item rather than return it. I do not know why. I have like this mental block when it comes to returning things. No good at it. Okay, so I do not know if this lid goes on this or not. I'm going to show you each of these pieces. It's just really random, but they all came together. So there is a lid. I just don't know if it actually fits on this. So you got this little like urn. It is only this big. This is the biggest piece. And then you've got this vase. And then you've got what looks like a mortar and pestle. So you've got all of those pieces. And then you've also, in this lot, there is one broken piece in this. I'm so sad. You have this little fireplace set. It's got the brush and the little shovel, but the poker broke. So the little poker is broken, which is a shame because the poker is kind of the coolest piece. But that whole lot, you'll get all, I'm just going to count this as one piece. So 4 pieces, even though it's actually more because there's lids and like the mortar and pestle is 2 pieces. The whole thing, $5, number 24. $5, number 24 for that set, which are fun if you like miniatures. All right, last item of the day. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. It's a set of coasters. They're plastic, stackable. These were a merchandise piece. It says, make big money with little bonds. Is that Etna? So it's mostly worn off. I mean, the words are still imprinted in the plastic, but they had silver writing at one point in time. These colors are so 1970s. Super, super fun. I have coaster collection and I have a ton of coasters, and these ones, for some reason, my cats keep knocking off onto the floor. I don't know if it's because they just make a fun sound. Bye, Rebecca. Merry Christmas. I don't know if it's because they make a fun sound in the middle of the night when they knock them off and all four go flying. But I'm going to give up these coasters. $6 for the set of 4. $6 for the set of 4. And that's everything, you guys. I'm going to work on invoicing today, and it looks like everything can go out in envelopes or very tiny boxes. Yeah, Alice, it could be that too. I do know they make a lot of noise in the middle of the night when the cats have knocked them off of. I have a table behind the couch, and they. All right, so I will not be on next week. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate, or if you don't celebrate at all, happy end of year. This year was something else, and glad to be seeing the back end of it. Here's looking at 2024. Bye, guys.